عصف الأنين بداخلي كم مرة قد ذاق قلبي من أساه محنا تمر وكم كرهت مصابها لكن رأيت الخير يسكب في أنا كم مرة قد ضقت من عظم البال.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. ما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Subhanallah al-Azim, ever since brothers have reached out to me regarding the information I'm due to present and cascade to you today, I was discussing and seeking counsel or consultation with brothers, ulama and students of knowledge that I know regarding how do I present this information. And as a disclosure, the issues that we are facing when it comes to capitalization, globalization, and especially monetization of the da'wah scene online. Recently, I've been communicating with a group of brothers, Tabarakallah al-Azim, and they made me aware of an event that involved a famous personality. And this personality was invited to fundraise. It was a multiple city tour. And the information provided to me, which I have, shocked me to my very core as to the way that they play with your money. After reviewing the breakdown of the cost and other associated documents with this event, as well as what they paid this famous personality, I can assure you it will leave you flabbergasted. I sought consultation, as I mentioned before, and I am not going to name the famous personality in question. But when I provide you the breakdown of said costs associated with this famous personality and all the other costs associated with this event, charity is being exploited. The figures are mind-blowing. Uqsimu billahi al-aliyyil azim. This framework of fundraising and all the other associated costs, it's ridiculous. The group of brothers who I've been communicating with, who provided this information, also felt something in their heart regarding the structure, the framework, how they exploit fundraisers, and the lack of transparency, hence why they provide this information to me. Now, I have all the information with me, right? I'm not going to share the information on this video, due to the fact that after my podcast with Sister Tay, they issue, legal letters via their solicitors. I'm not going to put myself in harm's way because I know that they operate outside the Islamic framework because ultimately it's a business and they want to protect their interests. So, let me summarize before I present the breakdown of the cost. This event is involving a famous personality who I won't name, and there's reasons why I won't name this individual. The costs associated with this event are mind-blowing, and this is a multiple city tour, right? So let's go into this now, and I'll break down the cost as follows. So number one, the speaker in question, right, was paid £243,000. So that was his fees for one particular talk. He was paid $243,000 again for another event as part of this tour. He was paid again £243,000 for another speaking event. So in total, this famous personality was paid £729,000. £729,000. Now, let's break this down even further. We know when we donate to said causes, whether it be Pakistan, where the floods have happened recently, may Allah aid them. Afghanistan, where whoever had the earthquake recently, may Allah preserve them and protect them. Palestine, Syria, Bangladesh, and Turkey, and wherever it may be, Africa and whatnot. So we pay sadaqah, tatawwa, voluntary sadaqah, or we pay zakat, which is wajib, right? Which is fard, if you want to call it that. So, £729,000 was paid to the famous personality. I'd like to ask now, where did this money come from? Let me add some information for transparency. Gift aid is not free money, as many people think. Gift aid is income tax that the government holds. So if you donate and you're a taxpayer, the charity, if you tick the box that they can claim gift aid, they can take 25% from your income tax. But what they won't tell you is that the government will increase your income tax once, obviously, that is claimed for by the charity. You could even ask them and confirm what I'm saying. So, who is forking out to pay these influencers? Let's just focus on this one. To pay this famous personality £729,000. Who's forking out for this? Is this from the donations? Is this from the zakat? Is this from a businessman who's willing to pay to £729,000? Where's it coming from? The gift aid won't really cut it. Okay? So that's £729,000. The venues, right, cost 60,000 in one city, 30,000 in another city, and 25,000 in another city. Okay, that's just the venues, right? The fees for the event company is £75,000. The fees for the event company is £75,000. So that's broken down 25,000, 25,000, 25,000. To add, event companies are businesses that are registered on Companies House. So they're not like charities who are bound by the rules of zakat and sadaqah. But at the same time, if they're working with charities, then ultimately charities need to be responsible when they pay these event companies from the donations, right? So this is where the loophole is there. They open event companies and obviously they've got, you know what I'm talking about. So £75,000 for them. Then you've got AV Plus, that's 30,000. The tour team, 30,000, so 10,000 per city. Flights were £10,000. Okay, flights were £10,000. All right, so that would have been from where the famous personality is into the UK. It's not like America where you fly from one state to another where you got to fly domestic. I don't think said famous personality was flying domestic to different cities. Anyway, hotels, 3,000 per city. So that would have been £9,000. So £3,000 for hotels. All right, just bear that in mind. Food, 1,000 a city. So £3,000 for food. This is how charities are operating. And the said personality came more than once. Okay, came more than once. And another charity was the host for. So this charity that I have, or this particular cost is from one charity, not two. All right. Media, 4,500, 4,500, so 1,500, 1,500, 1,500. SFR is 6,000, so 222. And you've got security, which is £2,500 for each event, which, again, I don't know. I need to speak to those who have security firms to ask if that's reasonable. And then you got additional cost, which is £5,000 per city, which there's no breakdown. It's just 5,000, which is 5,000 each, so 15,000. So in total, right? In total, so breaking down the cost first between the three cities, 373,000 for one city, 333,000 for another city, and 328,000 for the last city. So in total, the event will cost £1,034,000. Now, remember, the charity will be paying this to the events company, who are making 75 grand. While taking that into consideration, right? As I said, I'm not sharing anything on screen because, as I said, I am going to avoid any threatening legal letters ultimately, right? Bismillah. Mountain Dew, by the way, just in case. Reviewing the spreadsheet now, they have worst case scenario and best case scenario, right? So tickets, sponsorships, fundraising, influencers, merchandise, and auction, okay? So they've got worst case scenario and best case scenario. And they got realistic as well. So best case scenario is 2,330,000, okay? Best case scenario from this event. Realistic is about 1.8, just over 1.8, and the worst case scenario is 1.4. But remember, the total event is costing them just over 1 million. Okay, so even then, they're still better off. Like I said, all of these fundraising events and whatnot, do donors follow up where their money is going? It's all good having an event and having a famous personality come, and then after that they raise money and they show a few screenshots or slideshows, and there you go, khalas, intahid mawdu, we're done now, khalas, you paid the money, everyone goes on the merry way. No, there needs to be an impact now that we need to be asking questions, because they are wukala. And remember, when you're wukala, when you're representatives, you can't play with the money. You can't take that money and then invest it somewhere else. No, you have the ultimate responsibility, which is an amana. When that money is given to you, it's haram for you to play around with that money. You've been given that money. You need to now spend that money, okay, where you have promised, whatever cause it may be. But this is a problem, following the Western secular narrative. Okay, but we'll get more money. That's the argument. Okay, but if we raise was it the worst case scenario? We will raise 1.4, right? We're going to be giving it to the cause. So we pay this much to the influencer, which he doesn't deserve, right? Playing with the Ummah's money. But yeah, we're going to make more money. Really? Is that what happens? Okay. Now, this is another point, right, that I need to raise. So we've got breakdown, right, what I've just provided. Now, what kind of shocked me when I was looking at it, this whole celebrity fascination, and they capitalize on it. Look, I don't care how popular an individual may be. No individual, especially when it comes to charity, when it comes to zakat and sadaqah, no one deserves 250,000. I'm sorry. No one. See, how do I word it? So when I look at the breakdown of the tickets, right, you've got standard, premium, VIP, meet and greet, okay? Now, I don't want to go into the standard premium and all that rubbish, okay? Because as I say, it's an event, so you got to pay to enter, right? But this is where it gets a bit sinister. So meet and greet. Because it's a famous personality, people want to take photos, right? And meet said personality. So no different from meeting Drake, 50 Cent. Do you see what I mean? So we have to have our own Muslim celebrities, right? Do you understand what I mean? And once again, the person who requested that amount of money, and it's a reoccurring theme, they need to look in the mirror as well. It's associated with the charity. At the end of the day, look, if it was their money, if it was their own money, they wouldn't be that loose in spending. Got the ice cream ran. After reviewing the breakdown for meet and greet, there is a quota for the amount of meet and greet for each city. And the breakdown goes as follows. So you have 200 in one, 150 and 150. So the meet and greet costs £500, right? £500. And £500 times 200 in one city, that's £100,000 to meet and greet this famous personality. £100,000 in one city. In the second city, it will be 75,000, and in the other city it will be 75,000, and that's a total of £250,000. Now, once again, whether they met that quota or not, it's a different story. But they are willing, if you are willing to fork out that money to meet and greet the famous personality, they would have made a total of roughly £250,000, right? £250,000 for a meet and greet. But they also got a gold ticket value, which is £5,000, and in total it's 10 for each city, which is 30. So all in all, with the gold, it'd be £150,000. I don't know what the gold entails. I don't know. Gold is gold, isn't it? So it's going to be with perks. So in all, they were estimating, right, with ticket sales, including everything, £695,000, right, £695,000. And as I said before, they had their realistic costs and their breakdown and whatnot. So realistically, they were supposed to make 1.1 million, and at best they were going to make 1.6, right, 1.6. And again, that's from the whole, event. For these events, no personality has the right to demand that type of money. And if anything, if you want to call a personality, and they are asking for an amount which is unreasonable, then you say, unfortunately, we do not play with the donors' money. If these personalities weren't offered this type of money, what difference would it make to the ethics or the ethos of charities, which is to support the less fortunate? Your job is to receive that money and spend it accordingly. But it's a career. That's the point. When you signed up to working in the sector of charity, you must have had the intention that this will be done lillah. Not, I'm going to open up a charity and I'm going to bank off it. Because if you did, wallahi, you will be disgraced. Wallahi, you will be disgraced. And don't try to justify and add religious legitimacy to yourself. Oh no, but we are allowed to collect money and take a bit of the money, because that's what it is, it's the incentive. To add, since I started these videos, not once in the year and a half or 2 years have I accused any charities of usurping wealth. Not once, right? Not once. One said individual working for a charity openly said 5%, 5%. So we say, okay, this is what you said to the individual whose bank account you wanted to use, and you openly admitted that you would take 5%. That's a different story. You testified against yourself there, mate, okay? And other, connections that I know about. Your voice is powerful. Your voice is powerful. And if we take a stand, I promise you change will come. I promise you change will come. But until we don't take a stand, these sort of events will continue. And when they break the bank and this religious snobbery fool you day in, day out, then I don't want to turn around and say, I told you so. So if you want to withhold your hand, please do. Because I promise you, once you withhold your hand, they can't make the hundreds of thousands. They can't claim these, huge salaries if you withhold your money, because they're relying on your donations. Okay? So, inshallah ta'ala, I pray that rectification happens soon. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala watches everything. And He will hold these usurpers and capitalist charities to account if they're usurping the wealth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's judgment will be swift. I promise you. So take care of yourselves. Sallallahu alayhi wa Muhammad.
ليس الغريب غريب الشام واليمن، إن الغريب غريب اللحد والكفن، إن الغريب له حق لغربته على المقيمين في الأوطان والسكن، سفر بعيد وزاد لن يبلغني وقوتي ضعفت والموت يطلبني، ما أحلم الله عني حيث أمهلني، وقد تماديت في ذنبي ويسترني، تمر ساعة